not a thing which harms people. So you can go and find out things. So the Islamic history is rich. To give you an example, I have brought two books with me. This is a book of human anatomy, if you can see, and that is by a scholar who is named Al-Itaqi, and it is from the 6th century of Hijri. And also this is a book of astronomy, which is also by a Muslim scientist, Al-Ajdabi, and they were the first persons to comment about these two aspects or these two disciplines, the anatomy, human body anatomy, and also astronomy at that point of the world when the West was in dark ages. As I described before as well, that Ibn Hazm was the first person to propose that the earth is spherical in shape. And Christopher Columbus, he, after 900 years after Ibn Hazm, he was the first person to confirm that. So when you talk about that, what does Islam has to offer about science? So you shall go through the Islamic history as well, and then you will see that there is an absolute relationship between Islam, Quran, and science. So because that's an introductory video, I shall give you only the introductions about all these things. Also, if you talk about the Islamic perspectives, for example, not everything can be interpreted in the way of science, but you can go through, if you want to, you can go and see that in the field of astronomy as well. For example, what piety is in Islam. To give you an example, what piety is. Piety is something which is God consciousness. Also, if you see in astronomy, I shall discuss that point later, there is a star which is considered as the most heaviest star in terms of mass, which is named R136A1. That star is not the biggest, but it is the heaviest in terms of mass. But if you see which is the biggest star, that is UY Scuti. UY Scuti is the biggest, but it is not the biggest in terms of mass. So if you put those in orbits, UY Scuti, the biggest star, will revolve around R136A1. So because it has a bigger mass. So why I talked about piety? I talked about piety because of this example. If you want to interpret something, you can go, but it is not a infallible example. You can say that a piety is in heart. As Prophet ﷺ also said, that a person shall not be judged according to his color, his race, or something, but he shall be judged according to his piety, which is in the heart, God consciousness. So it is important. This is the law of nature. This is the law of God, law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the law is very eminent in the whole of the universe. So in this talk we discussed about that what is Quran and what is science. Quran is a divine revelation and science is an experimental process. Number two, what is the Quranic history, or what is the thing which makes Quran infallible, or what is the thing which makes Quran an extraordinary book? We shall discuss that what are the things which proves that Quran is the revelation of God in the next videos. But at the moment, the introduction tells you, the example was given about the linguistic miracle, and then I talked about that what the science offers about Quran. We see many critics of the Quran who says that not everything is proved scientifically what is mentioned in the Quran. But I shall say that there is a difference between these two things. If you say that everything that is in the Quran that have to be proved scientifically, that is not a good statement. I shall say that it's wrong. You shall see that not everything can be proven scientifically in the Quran, because everything, like the reports of the hereafter, you cannot prove them through science. So you can, if someone says that there are many unscientific points in the Quran, you shall say that there are some points which cannot be proved scientifically. So we do not have that knowledge, because if you see in the history of the subcontinent, just 100 years or 150 years back, that was the time of the linguists, when there were many famous poets like Ghalib and Mir and these people. That was the time of in the subcontinent. That was the time of the linguists. But now at this time, this is the age of science. So the time evolved, and now is the age of science. But when the time will evolve further, when the time will be evolved, we shall see many new things discovered, and many new knowledges will be added in the field of science as well. So at the moment, we shall not judge or say that there are, oh, look at that, I see many unscientific things in the Quran. But in the future, if many new knowledges are discovered, many new things are discovered, we shall see that those things will also get proved from the Quran. Because if we believe that Quran is the revelation of God, we shall also believe that it should be infallible. We cannot say, okay, that some things can be unscientific, some things can be wrong. God cannot be wrong. How can you say that? So you can say that, you can talk this point. Why I talked about this point, that there are many people who are the Islamic scholars as well. I shall not take their name, a person from USA and Canada. Those people say that the reports in the Quran and some things, they are unscientific. I do not agree to this point, that if you believe that this is the revelation of God, then you have to believe that everything that is mentioned in the book, that is infallible. That is absolutely infallible. So the point why I made this point was because you have to draw a line in between as well in these 2 points, that everything in the Quran is related to some kind of science, social science or experimental science, and then many parts about the faith as well. Many historical history is also part of social science. So these things are always and should be considered as infallible in terms of faith, and we shall wait for the time. If you see something that is not proved from the present knowledge of science, we shall wait. And also see that some things are only about faith, like the reports of the hereafter, paradise and hell, heaven and hell, and these things. And if someone comes and says you, okay, show me God, so what can you say about it? God cannot be seen. So if you say to me that okay, so if you say to me to end the video, I shall give you only one example. If you say to me that what example can you give about God and the existence of God? So if you have seen the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, every one of you must have seen its diagram. I'm not talking about the diagram. I'm not talking about the diagram. I'm talking about the real DNA. So anyone of you have you seen the real DNA? Of course, many of you have seen that, but we do believe in that because the scientists of the present time say that it exists, and we do believe because they, according to us, they cannot lie and they are absolutely correct. Similarly is the case in terms of God as well. We cannot see God, but of course the prophets, who are the most trustworthy people, they said, so we believe in that. So these things, this is about faith. So to end the video, I shall say you that please watch this video, and if you have any questions, you can comment and share this video, and inshallah in the next video. And inshallah in the next video we shall talk about many new things, and also subscribe to our channel, and take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.